Hello and welcome to Spirit Touched. We're going to be talking about government forms. One of them is democracy, government by the people, exercised by duly elected representatives, a social condition of equality and respect for the individuals within the community. America is also a republic. It is not a monarchy. A constitutional form of government, especially a democratic one, people working freely for the same cause or goal. America is a combination of both. We have a Congress and a Senate with the president. Our vice president presides over the Senate to make sure that they do the people's business and break tie votes on issues. We are a melting pot of people from all over the world who came and built a home here to make a better life. Israel is one of the first a democracy. They have a Knesset, which is like our House and Senate combined, with a prime minister. If the people lose confidence in the prime minister, then they can call for new elections before their term is up. Their prime minister has a group of advisors, just like our president. They are a nation of Jews from one family. Their laws and ours come from the Ten Commandments. Because the Jews are from one family, they have the same religion, which is the center of their lives. Many different religions are practiced in this nation. The common ground between the two nations is that we worship the same God, and His Son is our Messiah. Both our nations are God strong. That's why we need to stand together with them in their time of crisis. It's not well known, but their security experts consult with ours. The reason is the things they share need to be kept secret from our enemies and theirs. We have a common goal. It's to share the God we worship with the rest of the world. They know the God of the Old Testament. We know His Son. We are showing them how He fulfills the prophecies about Him given in the Old Testament. Many of them are becoming messianic because of that sharing. Deuteronomy 7. Before they entered the promised land, God tells them some things they must do. Number one is to totally destroy all the people living there and their idols. Why? So that His chosen will not intermarry with them and begin to worship those idols. They did not obey, and that's exactly what happened as a result. Read the whole chapter and chapter 8 for yourself. Why? Because it will help you understand what is going on in Israel right now and why. When the first settlers arrived in America, God did not tell them to do what he told his chosen. Yet, look at our history. That's almost exactly what we did to those who were already here. We took their best land and shut them away on reservations. Shame on us. Many of them worshiped who they called the Great White Father, and we call God. They shared with us at first. Because of them, not all of those first settlers died that first year. America was the promised land to our ancestors when they came. It still is to all those who are still coming or dream of coming. Yes, some are coming illegally, and that's wrong. It costs lots of money to come, and they can't afford the travel expenses, the passport, or other necessary paperwork, so they come any way they can. Yes, that's wrong and very dangerous. Yes, sadly, many of them die along the way. Since our first settlers came from many different places, our orders are found in Mark 14:9 and chapter 16:15. One of our earlier lessons asked the question, "Can you hear me now?" Then later we had one about God calling. Yes, he is. And right now the answer to the question is, no, we're not listening. Too many have turned off their spirit ears. Who are they, you ask? They're the ones who think they already know everything, so they don't need his wise counsel. Listening opens the door for Satan to slither in. It's time to slam that door shut in his sorry face. The Bible is our Bill of Rights because in it, God tells us what we can do and what we can't. Exodus 20:1 through 17. The Jews go by the first 5 books of the Old Testament written by Moses, along with the rest of the Old Testament, and the Talmud, which is a book of over 400 rules. They strictly follow in their daily lives. When freedom was born, there's a manger behind it in Bethlehem. There's also a cross with its shadow. Strangely, that shadow is our light. Christianity starts with rescue. It ends with a requirement which is set in the context of God's amazing grace. There are 2 nations that want to keep their hard-won freedom. Taiwan and Ukraine. There's one that wants to get it back, Crimea. Then there's his chosen nation that just wants to keep on existing in the land he gave them Israel. America is the land of the free and the home of the brave. It's our job to pray for these nations and to help them in any way that we can. Why? Because we know just how precious freedom is. We have fought several wars to keep and protect our own. That's why we can't let other nations lose theirs on our watch. We know freedom isn't free. It comes with the price of shed blood, either on the battlefield or on that old rugged cross. If we allowed other nations to lose theirs, then we might just then we won ours in vain. What a shame that would be. Remember, there are ways to back. Remember, there are graces that have backed us up, and we are backed up by the one who sits on the mercy seat. His justice will prevail. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as our Father, brothers all are we. Let me walk with my brother in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. You may send me your prayer request to heanswers@gmail.com and pray there will be peace on earth.